Arsenal fans, the moment we have been always waiting for. Arsenal versus PSG in the Champions League Final in Budapest. And what a huge game this is going to be. The winner of this is going to be the champion of Europe. Premier League champions Arsenal versus French champions and the current holders of the Champions League, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. Venue is going to be in Budapest. So this is the Arsenal Pulse. And today we want to tactically break down and detail this game, how it's going to be. Very excited and also looking forward to this game because it is one of the biggest games in Arsenal history. The second UEFA Champions League Final. First and foremost, let's listen to the champion. Fantastic. So let's look at how we got to this final first and foremost, and you can see this has been a long journey. Yeah. So Arsenal beat Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals, home and away. We drew 2-1 win aggregate versus Atletico. Then we beat Sporting Lisbon in the quarterfinals, and in the round of 16 we beat Bayern Leverkusen. Then if you look at the PSG, they beat Chelsea in the round of 16. Then they beat Liverpool in the quarterfinals. And then they faced Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. And then they beat them. So setting up a humongous game versus Arsenal. So remember, Arsenal are unbeaten in the Champions League. As we all know, 14 games played, 11 wins and 3 draws. So far, Arsenal have yet to test defeat in the Champions League, and this is going to be a gargantuan game. So Arsenal are back in the biggest stage, their first UEFA Champions League in 20 years, and this is a historic occasion, one of the biggest nights in Arsenal Football Club history. So as you all know, Arsenal have already secured the Premier League title at the 5 points, and now the focus is all on the Champions League in Budapest. And so I want us to look at what happened in the last Champions League final Arsenal played in 2006. That is, so this was the final in 2006. It was a very long time ago. Yeah, the likes of Gaucho, the likes of Eto'o were playing in this game. Iniesta, young Iniesta, Deco, Puyol, Victor Valdez, big names, but managed to take the lead in the 37th minute, although we were given a red card by Jens Lehmann. Yeah, then Samuel Eto'o was really disruptive. So Barcelona, we almost beat Barcelona, but they managed to make a comeback in that game. And we also had plenty of chances, a game in which we should have won comfortably. Chances by Thierry Henry, but it did not manage to actually score. We were not clinical enough in that game. Then Eto'o came and won, equalized for Barcelona. Then the second goal by, I think it was Belletti in the 80th minute. Yeah, and then Barcelona went on to win the Champions League that season with Rudy Gullit in charge of Barcelona. So it was a huge upset in that season, because if we could have won the Champions League, that would have been the Arsenal's first Champions League. And now we are 140 years old as a club, and this is chance second final to actually go ahead and make a statement in Europe and actually beat the current holders of the Champions League, who are PSG. and what a statement it will be, because we met last season in the final, and I want us to look at that game. The previous season we met in the semi-final and they beat us in the semi-final. So let's look at what happened in that match. Yeah, so we managed to actually, but that day we did not have the squad that we had because we were missing a striker. Merino started up front. We had a players. One Gabriel was not there. Magales, Lewis Kelly was playing at left back. So a lot has changed in 1 year. Why is it possible? To actually kill quality of PSG, and that is what they have. They have managed to score 44 goals, and Arsenal have only conceded 6 goals. So this game has been dubbed as the plenty of chances to actually go and beat PSG in this game. But tomorrow it is going to be a different kind of game, because we expect that Arsenal now have a very strong squad. The pressure is off of lifting a trophy after winning the Premier League. Now the pressure is off. Now we'll get to see a more fluid attacking Arsenal side. But for PSG as well, we have to give them the respect that they deserve. It is not going to be easy. They are the European champions. Yeah, and you know, each and every time when you go and face a European champion, there's a reason why they won that tournament. And the reason is that they are the best of the best. So let's look at the predicted lineup for that game tomorrow. And you can see in goal, I'm expecting Raya to start. Then it should be a defense of Calafiori, Gabriel Saliba, and Mosquera. So Timber was past fit to. Timber actually managed to train with the first team, full training, but I don't think he'll be 100% fit to start this game. Then there's Saliba, Gabriel, of course, partnership. Then Calafiori, who actually gallops in front. And then in midfield, I'm expecting Lewis Kelly and Rice. That partnership has been working wonders. Yeah, Zubimendi may come in, but we are yet to see. Then in the 10, I'm expecting Odegaard to start over Eze, although Eze is also a very good player. But because of the ball retention of Odegaard and the control of the tempo, I believe Odegaard is going to start, and also he's the captain. Then on the wings, I'm expecting Saka and Trossard to start. Trossard has been excellent form since scoring at West Ham. He has been performing at the highest level. Saka scored the winner versus Atletico 1-0, so that took us to the Champions League final. And then Victor Gyökeres, I'm expecting the mask Gyökeres to start this game over Havertz, because we need somebody who can actually pin their defense, yeah, as well. Then in terms of PSG, their usual front three, deadly, the most deadly front three in Europe and the world currently, Ivica, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Due, that must start. And then there's Ruiz, Vitinha and Neves, one of the best technical midfields in the world. And then there's Nuno Mendes, Pacho, Marquinhos and Zaire Emery. The reason why Zaire Emery may play this game is because Hakimi is not 100% fit. He was past fit to start to go with the squad to Budapest, but he has not been past fit to actually play this game. And then there is Safanov. Now this time round it is not going to be Donnarumma, but also Safanov is a very good goalkeeper. So we need to really be careful on how it is going to go tomorrow. So there's plenty of expectation from fans, as well as we expect our first Champions League trophy in 140 years as a club, because the Arsenal was formed in 1886 and they were called Woolwich. The name Arsenal was not there. They were called Woolwich. There were guys who were working in the cotton industry. So they decided to form a team, and this is when it came and became called Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. So this is a meeting of two of the best managers in world football. Mikel Arteta has proven himself in the Premier League by winning it in his 6th season in charge, and this is his first job, remember. So he has won the FA Cup with Arsenal and the Premier League title as well. Luis Enrique has won plenty of trebles. He's the only manager who has won 2 trebles at 2 different clubs. He won it with Barcelona 2015, and then he won it with PSG 2025. So Luis Enrique is one of the best coaches around in the world of football. So tactically, it's going to be interesting I'm waiting to see the midfield battle. Nuno Mendes versus Saka, Declan Rice versus Vitinha, Hakimi versus Trossard, Gyökeres versus their centre backs, Ousmane Dembele versus Saliba and Gabriel. Plenty of battles are going to be there on the pitch, and I'm expecting a tactical, tight game. So for me, it is going to be a tight affair. So this is a blockbuster game. It will be played on 7 p.m. Kenyan time, and the challengers Arsenal are coming with so much confidence, and also Enrique is bidding to become the first French team to win back-to-back European Cups. Yeah, so that is quite an achievement since PSG actually since Real Madrid won 3 in a row under Zinedine Zidane. There's no team that has won it back-to-back since then, because it is so difficult to actually win back-to-back. And if you look at that Real Madrid team, that Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, Modric, Casemiro, that is the reason why they won it back-to-back. They are the best players in the world. But for Arteta, he is hungry. He has proven himself in England now. Winning the Premier League is not easy. So he is going there to win. And these players have now finally, they have gotten over the line. And that was a huge, it was like a curse. Getting over the line is something that Arsenal needed to do. So are they going to get over the line in the Champions League? That is yet to be seen. So also PSG are playing in their third final. They were beaten 1-0 by Bayern Munich in 2020. Then they beat Inter Milan 5-0 last season. And then now they are going to face Arsenal. So who knows? Maybe this is going to be the time that Arsenal are going to actually win it. So Arsenal are unbeaten in Europe, 14 games without losing. But we have to be cautious, because if you look last season in the Europa League, Manchester United went the whole tournament unbeaten, but they were lost to Tottenham in the final. So a final is a one-off game. Whoever turns up on that day will win that game. There's no favorite, there is no underdog. It is whoever shows up on the day. Yeah. So that is what is we expected. So regarding the team news, Ousmane Dembele is back, as well as Hakimi. So PSG will be having a very strong team, and we are yet to see how they are going to play. Timber is back in the squad, and I believe that he will not start, but Mosquera will actually start together with Lewis Kelly, Rice, Saka, Odegaard, Trossard, and Gyökeres. Yeah. So this is a dream come true for players who are going to play in this. This is going to be a dream come true for players who are going to attack in this to play in this game, because it's a one in a lifetime opportunity. You don't know whether you'll ever play in the final again. Yeah. So the bookies are saying Arsenal, PSG are going to beat Arsenal 2-1, because the attack is one of the best in the league. And then Kvaratskhelia going up against Mosquera is going to be a worry for Arsenal. And I believe that Enrique, with his experience and with his what can I say, his know-how, I believe he is going to edge. But that is the bookies. For me, I'm going to go with a 1-0 to the Arsenal. I believe we are going to scrap it. We are not going to play the best football. PSG will play, dominate with the ball. But off the ball, we are one of the best teams in the world off the ball. And that's why I'm giving my team a chance. We are going to win 1-0. So Arsenal are going there dangerous, because this is now an Arsenal team that is full of winners in that preseason. They have won. And now we are yet to see how it's going to affect them this game. So PSG have the experience, they have the attacking quality, they have the midfield control, big game mentality. This is the ultimate test for Arsenal. It is the biggest game in the Emirates era history for Arsenal, Champions League Final. But what I'm going to say is Arsenal mentality now, it's going to be different, because we are going there having gotten over the line. And that is something that naturally boosts the confidence in the team. And then there is the tactical discipline by Arteta. Usually shows tactical discipline in such games. Yeah. And also Arsenal have earned the right to believe in this game. So as I said, set pieces will be a key factor. Midfield battle, Vitinha, Rice, Neves, Mendes, Lewis Kelly, or Ruzbamendi, Odegaard. midfield is where the game will be won. Whoever controls that midfield will win this game. And then there will be the winger versus fullback. You have to beat your fullback one-on-one. Yeah. Saka versus Nuno Mendes, Trossard versus Hakimi, Vara versus Mosquera, Due versus Calafiori. So there are going to be interesting battles all over the pitch. So there's excitement. There's I'm expecting fireworks. I'm expecting nervousness in game. It will be a tense game, and most of us Arsenal fans, we have not experienced a Champions League final before, so it will be a new experience, and it will be a tight game. There's also a possibility it may go to extra time. This is football, and anything can happen. So I want us to look at what Arteta said regarding the rebuild at Arsenal, because it took him a long time to actually rebuild this team. Let's listen.
How people feel about working in the organization. And I wasn't happy and I wasn't impressed at all about the way they describe it, so I put my hands on that, and I needed a lot of support to change that, but I think that was the foundation that after we used to build that.
That's like a lot of extra work when you surely weren't expecting to happen there.
I was expecting something, but not as deep as profound. And then you need time, because you want to. This wasn't about changing the identity of a team to play in a certain way or improve certain tactics. It was much deeper than that. But I love the challenge as well. I mean, it was an incredible opportunity when things are not in the place that this club deserves, to help and to give certain direction and put them right is the most fulfilling part. When
Culture, he needed to change the mentality, he needed to change the level at Arsenal, and he needed time and resources. And that's why finally it has come into fruition. And even the board and the ownership, the way they believed in his project, in his vision, it is something proud of. Arteta should be grateful, because in 2019 there was coronavirus and there were no fans in the stadium. That is something that actually saved Arteta's job. So they gave him the time, and that FA Cup that he won versus Chelsea gave him a lot of time. So this is going to be an interesting encounter, and I'm hoping that finally we can get over the line in the Champions League. We have gotten over the line in the Premier League. Now it is time to get over it's time to get over in the Champions League, so that we can be enjoying scenes like this. Yeah. So this is the Arsenal Pulse. As I said, I'm expecting 1-0 win versus PSG tomorrow. Going to be scrappy. We are going to fight. It's not going to be easy, and I expect it is going to be a tough game. So this is the Arsenal Pulse. If you're new, subscribe, like, and share. So excited. First Champions League final in 20 years. The first Champions League I'm going to be watching live. I've never watched live as an Arsenal fan. So it's going to be an interesting affair tomorrow. So this is how it's going to be by tomorrow night. Before we sleep, we shall be knowing the new champions of England. So this is the Arsenal Pulse. If you are new, subscribe and share. Champions League night, Budapest. That night in Budapest, I believe in the players, I believe in the manager, I believe we are going to get over the line in Europe for the first time, and I pray that we win the double so that we can enjoy this moment. So see you in the next one. Peace out.